The following is a Just Green production.
Hello everyone, it's the week of October 9th, 2017. My name is Taylor Cooper, and this might be news to you. What up everybody, week 8 might be news. I'm here with my co-host Kev. Say what up, co-host Kev.
Yo!
What up, co-host Dan?
What's up, guys?
Follow us on Twitter at MightBeNews247. That's MightBeNews247. Get at us on SoundCloud, iTunes. Follow, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. We want to hear from you. We're talking about some things that may or may not interest you. It may or may not be news to you. But, you know, try and keep it light. Last week we got a little political. It was cool. You know, it's good. It's good. It's good to get, you know, we don't want to get good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Good. You know, it's good to talk about things that things are happening that weigh on people differently. Some people are concerned about some things. Some people aren't. But either way, it's good to talk about things. You got to talk to your neighbors. You got to talk to people around you, your coworkers, your friends. Because if you're like me and I live under a rock most days, I just kind of chill and do my own thing. Somehow, some way, you got to get some knowledge of what's going on out there. So maybe some of this stuff is news to you. Like I said, we're trying to keep it light. Here's some good news.
Hey, did you hear the news?
This better be good.
You want the good news or the bad news?
Give me the good stuff.
All right, week 8 with some good news. What up, Danny?
All right, so unless you're like Taylor and you live under a rock.
What happened?
So, I mean, everybody, I'm sure, has heard about the shooting in Las Vegas. Happened a week ago. So I'm going to share about 3 or 4 good stories / heroes that came out of this tragic event. I don't have a story for the first one, but 2 concert goers, a father and a daughter, were both seeing the concert when the shots rang out. The father was a firefighter and the daughter was a paramedic. After the initial set of shots rang out, they got to the ground to cover. During the pause, they stood up, they looked at each other, hugged each other, told each other that they loved them, and said it's time to go to work. And they both went separate directions and started saving people's lives.
Wow.
So it's one good story that from that tragic event. Now I'm going to read about 3 other stories that I found on this Facebook post called Love What Matters. It's basically just sharing stories from those events. So Dr. James Seabest was attending the concert, the 91 Harvest. He is a surgeon. Most importantly, he is a good human being. When the shots were fired, he looked at his wife, told her to get out with her friends to safety, and he would meet them back at the hotel. Treatment was literally to get them out of there and stop any bleeding that he could. He said he would just go person to person. In the midst of the chaos and fearful, he went out and started finding the wounded and medically helped them. He went through the crowd of the 58 people killed and the 527 wounded and did everything in his powers to help. He carried victims to safety, he carried bodies, and made sure everybody got off the field that he could. He is one hero from that event.
Wow.
Absolutely. The next one is a story that a lady told. It begins with, Brandon and I met only 2 hours before the Jason Aldean show. I left my friends so we could go up super close to the front by the end of the night. We were just dancing and having fun. Then all of a sudden there were loud noises that sounded like fireworks, but no lights were going off. It stopped and Jason Aldean kept playing, but then the shots fired again and he ran off stage. Before I knew what was going on, Brandon tackled me down to the ground and covered me from the fire. It stopped again. He looked around to see what was happening, then it just kept going. He looked at me and said, "We have to get out of here. We can't stay here, it's not safe." He then pulled my arm up to get me off the pile of people. We had no idea who was dead and who was alive. We just started to run. He kept telling me he was going to be okay, and to keep going until we were safe. He even let me use his phone to stay in touch with her sister, so they knew that she was safe. Later that night, he did not leave my side. Apparently, this guy actually, after he got the girl to safety, he went back and started treating and saved the life of 9 people by applying tourniquets using his belt, his shirt, and anything he could find on the ground.
Wow. Very wild.
Let's see. And the last one I have. My daughter Tiffany was at the Route 91 concert. She called me as soon as the shots began to tell me that she loved me. I was freaking out because I could hear screaming and gunfire. All I kept praying and saying was to please get down. My daughter is a nurse, and after she jumped the fence ready to run, she saw a young girl crying for help. Her mother was shot. My daughter told me, "Mom, I have to help." I was screaming, "Please get to safety." My daughter couldn't do that. She jumped back over the fence and began helping as many people as she could. She said someone came up with the idea to use the fence as gurneys to move the injured. She said over and over that was such a great idea and helped so many people get to safety. She also told me that yes, there were many off-duty police officers, firemen, and nurses helping, but there were also many young men and brave women in the middle of the gunfire asking to help. They were not trained as first responders, but were so compassionate and brave and helped so many people. Let's see. And she was also one of the others that just, instead of running for safety, stayed back and helped.
Wow.
I mean, coming as a firefighter and EMT, it's like second nature.
Yeah.
You don't run, you run to where people need help.
Right.
There were a lot of heroes that came out of this event.
That goes to show you as to no matter how many freaking idiots there are out there, that there are so many more good people out there to do what they need to do to help. I mean, that's freaking awesome.
It's a good point, Kev. You think about it, you know, how many crazy people, and we're going to get into this a little bit more later during What's the Point, spoiler alert, but, you know, there's so many people out there that are kind of using this to fit whatever you know, thing they're trying to go and say, rhetoric, political agenda, whatever. But the bottom line is that there are seriously sick people out there. But like you said, Kev, the amount of good, wholesome, helpful people way outnumbers that.
Yeah.
So
So
I mean,
I actually, one other story off the top of my head. Guy was at the concert, met a good-looking girl, started hanging out with her all weekend. He was with her when the shots rang out, and she was actually shot in the abdomen and the arm.
ugh.
He carried her to safety, went back and helped treat 15 or 20 other people, and then went and met her at the hospital and didn't leave her side. And because of that whole thing, he actually has decided to enlist in the Army and be an Army medic.
Good for him.
Because
Good
of that.
for him.
Very wild. Well, yeah, like I said, we'll get into some more of that stuff a little later on, but switch gears a little bit. Got a interesting topic to start the show off with. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations came out this week. They've also been doing some the Nobel prizes and stuff, but I don't think they're done with that yet, so maybe we'll talk a little bit about that next week. But I think they did literature, science, and something else this week. But anyway, this week we'll talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the induction process. There's 19 nominations this year. 5 of them get inducted into the Hall of Fame. The qualifications to be nominated, it's 25 years after their first release. 25 years. So they have to put their first album out 25 years from right now. Ballots are sent to more than 900 historians, members of the music industry, and artists, including every living Rock Hall inductee. Beginning in 2012, fans were given the chance to vote for nominees they'd like to see inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You can go on like Facebook and Twitter, I think, and vote. But you're only limited to like one a day, I guess. Pretty wild. So 19 nominations. 5 get in. The nominations are Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. I mean, I went down through the list and listed a song or two next to them just to give people examples because I didn't know some of these names, but then I looked for some of their songs and didn't know who they were. And I knew the song, I just didn't know the name of the band or whatever. Excuse me. Bon Jovi, Kate Bush. I didn't know her, and I listened to a couple of her songs and still didn't know her, but her number one song is Running Up That Hill. The Cars. I love The Cars. One of their biggest hits, Drive. My Best Friend's Girl. Depeche Mode. Biggest hit, Personal Jesus. You know that song. Everybody should know that song.
Yeah.
Dire Straits. Money for Nothing. Sultans of Swing. Eurythmics. Sweet Dreams. You know that song?
Sweet dreams are made
Exactly. Jay Gill's band, their biggest hit was Centerfold. Not a fan. Judas Priest, Breaking the Law. Good. 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 LL Cool J.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
LL Cool J, his biggest hit, Doing It, Around the Way Girl. MC5, Kick Out the Jams. They're kind of like real old school punk. It's all right if you're into that kind of stuff. The Meters. Their biggest hit was Chrissy Strut and Hey Pocky Away. They're like kind of funk blues, but they're mostly doing some cool instrumentals and stuff. Real neat stuff. That Sissy Strut is real dope. Moody Blues, their biggest hit, Nights in White Satin. Not a fan, it's all right. Radiohead, biggest hit, Creep, Karma Police. They're big time. Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name, Bulls on Parade, That's My Shit. That's My Shit isn't a song. There's literally my shit. Rufus featuring Shaka Khan. Sweet Thing is their biggest hit.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of Shaka Khan?
Shaka Khan's great. Nice like soul music. It's good.
It's good.
It's like really good though. Not like a sarcastic. It's good. It's good.
It is good.
Nina Simone, her biggest hit, Feeling Good. That's been covered by a lot of people, remixed and redone by a lot of people. Great song. Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Silent Night is her biggest hit, which is a Christmas song, so that's weird. Link Ray. Link Ray, his biggest hit is Rumble. Now, he's like a rockabilly guy, which, you know,
that music is whack.
It's all right, dude. I kind of dig it. Anyway, his biggest hit is called Rumble, and I didn't know who this guy was until I listened to the song Rumble. Rumble was in Pulp Fiction. It's in the part where Mia Wallace, played by Uma Thurman, is in the bathroom doing lines of coke in Jackrabbit Slims when she's with Vincent Vega, John Travolta's character. That song's playing in the background when she's doing coke, and she looks up and basically realizes that she's going to try and bang John Travolta. Anyway, The Zombies. That's a great movie, by the way. It's good. Pulp Fiction. You seen it?
I've never seen it.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, man, you got to see it. Great movie.
Chill.
It's not science fiction. It's definitely not for the kids. Definitely not. But it's
definitely not for the kids.
That is
especially,
a classic movie.
That scene where John Travolta needs, spoiler alert.
Oh, when he's trying to get the
whoa! If I got to see it, don't give me no spoilers.
Oh, dude, yeah, you got to see it.
All right,
that's a classic.
Homework.
Yeah, homework.
How thick
Have
is
you
the
seen
breastplate?
Moana yet? Yeah, that shit's funny.
Come on, man.
Oh, dude, it's been weeks now.
I've watched it 5 times since we've talked about it.
Can we
Listen.
have like a Might Be News movie night?
Yeah,
Hang out and eat popcorn and watch movies.
we'll watch Moana and then Pulp Fiction.
Can we do Moana last so I don't have any bad thoughts from Pulp Fiction?
The last band on this list before we go into a tangent is The Zombies, and their biggest hit is Time of the Season. I love that song.
Yeah.
What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Probably one of the most gangster lines ever written. Just saying.
No.
I'm wrong.
Yes. But with that movie, I don't even remember. I can't even quote it now because I don't remember what it is. But Samuel L. Jackson, where he's standing there and
Does he look like a bitch? Dude, it's a great movie. So
has a killer cast too.
Killer cast, killer soundtrack, killer everything. It's a great movie. So that's the 19 nominations.
And you can only pick 5.
You can only pick 5. Now, I kind of sprung this on you guys today, but I picked, if I were to vote right now, I'd have to go with The Cars, Depeche Mode, LL Cool J, Radiohead, and Rage Against the Machine.
Wrong.
Just based off of
Wrong.
What, Kev? What? Just based off
Wow.
of personal interest and personal preference, those are my 5. It's hard.
If you
It's
think
hard.
his are wrong, I want to hear your list.
Yeah,
Bon Jovi's getting in.
Bon Jovi's going to get in.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Bon
I
Jovi's
didn't
going to get in.
necessarily do it off of my list, but who I would think would
Who
get
you
in.
think your like predictions?
Yes.
Like Vegas odds?
Right.
Okay.
Bon Jovi's getting in.
I would say
period.
Bon Jovi's getting in. Yes.
Hands down.
Radiohead.
Yep.
I think they're a solid 90s band. I like that alternative rock type deal, but I think Judas Priest is getting in. Period. Getting in.
I don't know.
Dire Straits. I dig Dire Straits, and LL Cool J I got to go with because I really didn't know anybody else on the list.
I feel like LL Cool J will get in because he's the only hip hop act on here that is nominated. That doesn't necessarily guarantee he's a shoe-in. I'm just saying that, like, if they want to kind of have
Broaden
a
their
nice,
horizons.
diverse list, then I think LL Cool J is going to make it in. I think Bon Jovi's definitely going. I think the Cars are going to get in. I think Depeche Mode's going to get in. I don't know. Then you're going to have to, for my top 5, you're going to have to remove either Radiohead or Rage Against the Machine. And I don't want to remove Rage Against the Machine.
No.
They've got to get in. If for no other reason to have some cool supergroup cover them on the ceremony. That's all I want. I just want to see some dope shit at the ceremony thing on HBO.
I don't think that'll happen.
Wow.
All right, so my 5 would have to be Bon Jovi, LL Cool J, Rage Against the Machine, Radiohead, and then it's a toss-up between Judas Priest and the Cars.
Ugh, it's so hard. It's hard because the Cars are great.
Yeah.
Like
It's-
I
Judas
kind of
Priest is
forgot
good,
how
too.
great the Cars were until I sat down and started listening to them, and it's hit after hit. All these guys, like a couple of them I don't really know. Like I said, but Eurythmics were great. I don't know if they're gonna get in, but man, I don't know. Depeche Mode kind of broke the mold because they were one of the first bands to really use hardcore like synthesizers and have that real electric dark kind of vibe to them. And they got hit after hit after hit. It's wild.
Now, is there like a subcategory where like, of course these are all bands and groups, but like, I listen to Preston and Steve every morning.
Yeah.
They're a rock station.
Mhm.
I firmly believe that they deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame someday.
You mean like a radio?
Yeah.
I think there's a radio hall of I don't know. Maybe there is. It's kind of a hall of fame for a lot of things. There's a lot of hall of fames.
That was
I don't know. I feel like maybe like a broadcasting hall of fame.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. I have to do some research on that. But we want to hear from you guys. Who do you think is going to get in, or who is your top 5? Tweet us at Might Be News 24/7. That's Might Be News 247. I really hope Rage Against the Machine gets in.
Yeah, they have to.
I like Radiohead too, a lot.
I'd rather see Rage more than Radiohead.
No way. No way.
Are you talking about a personal preference or what?
No, I'm talking about that Radiohead.
Radiohead's a
is
far more popular band
way,
than Rage.
way.
Like because I don't know about like, European numbers and stuff like that, but that's where Radiohead's from, so I assume that they're like super popular over there.
Radiohead is still played on the radio.
So is
So
Rage.
is Rage.
Very seldom.
In comparison, yes. I guess because Radiohead had way more radio hits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not as abrasive or
Political.
political,
Yeah.
which is tough. because like I don't know, I don't necessarily have to know everything that Rage Against the Machine is talking about. There's quite a few things that they're talking about that I don't know what they're talking about. It's just crazy good music. It's kind of like listening to Pearl Jam. I don't know what they're talking about.
Listen, if you ask me what Bulls on Parade means, I have no idea.
It's a great song and it
I
rocks.
just love that
Right.
freaking
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
I love that
It
song.
rocks. I mean, I
know
agree
that
with
like
you.
Killing in the Name is about the KKK and how they've infiltrated the government and the justice system and the workforce. That's what Killing in the Name is
Do
about.
not ruin these songs for me.
That's what it is. Just about all of their songs are political, and you may or may not agree with what they're actually trying to get across. It's just like listening to Prophets of Rage. What we were talking about, "Hail to the Chief,"
Yeah.
is like one of our favorite songs on the album, but it's about Mike Pence.
Yeah,
So like
no-
if you
no
if you
idea.
voted for Trump and you're like, this song fucking rocks, and then all of a sudden you watch the music video for it and you're like, oh,
like, oh shit.
I don't like this anymore.
And I don't want people to take me wrong. I mean, I really do like Rage Against the Machine, and they freaking
No,
kill it.
Listen, there's
But that's my personal opinion on if they're
Right.
getting in.
Listen, there's 19 people on this list, and quite a few of them weren't huge radio hits. Like Bon Jovi, like we said, I wouldn't vote for Bon Jovi because Bon Jovi isn't my thing.
Right.
But of course, Bon Jovi has to get in because for a time when we were growing up to still now, you can't turn on a radio without hearing Bon Jovi at some point during the day. At some point. And it could be one of 8 songs, no matter how corny they are.
Now, I'm not too sure how this process works. If it's like the NFL ballot process, do these names, if they don't get in, do they go back on the list for
They
next
can
year?
go back on the list. But I think it's based on votes. Like because some of these people are repeats. I think there's only a few people that are new to the list.
Okay.
Because like Link Ray, he was popular in like the 70s. A lot of the Zombies is 70s. Depeche Mode 80s.
Mhm.
I don't know if Depeche Mode's been nominated before, but I would assume so. Like they've put stuff out past 25 years now.
They had long ago.
So the Cars is the same way. But I don't know like how many times they get repeated.
So looking at
Because I know like what, baseball you have like a certain amount of times you can be nominated before you're
Something
just
like
done.
that.
And I think
Yeah.
the NFL is the same way.
Yeah.
Like if you get nominated like 5 or 6 times or something like that, then and you don't get in, then you don't get in.
Yeah.
So
like people like Bon Jovi, he's a first ballot, hands down.
yeah. So
When does this get voted on?
I think you have to have. I think it's by the end of the month.
When is it announced?
I don't know.
Because we gotta talk about this.
We'll talk about it when it happens for sure.
Yeah.
It'll be an update episode.
Oh yeah.
We'll do an update.
We got to come out for a new soundbite for that.
For an update
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
You want a new soundbite?
New soundbite.
It's pretty needy, you know. It's okay. It's all right. See what I can do. You know, I'll talk to whoever I got to talk to get that done.
We'll make a phone call to Just Green.
Yeah. I'll consult Just Green and I'll see what he's got to do. But you know, we'll get it done. He's very mysterious, dark personality.
Got a lot on his plate.
A lot on his plate.
Very busy.
He's just so busy, Kev. And you know, soundbite for a random episode. It might be out of his realm of things that he wants to do.
Well, you can tell Just Green he's a terrible friend.
I'll let him know. I'll let him know you said that. So yeah, do you guys have anything to add to this first half of this show? We'll take a little break and come back with what's the point, late review. What do we review this week? Common.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it in the next.
We're gonna get
half.
into it because it's an interesting conversation, as it always is. We always have way difference of opinion on music, the three of us, which is okay. It's okay. It's good. It's good to have that because then it makes it interesting. It'd be dumb if all three of us were like 10, 10, 10, and then, or like 9. Everybody just gives it the same fucking score every week. Good.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
No. Spoiler alert, I think it's good. Better than good. It's probably great.
Good. Good.
It was good. It's good.
All right. Well, if you guys don't have anything to add, we'll take a little break here, and we'll come right back to finish off this wonderful show. Be right back. Welcome back to week 8 of Might Be News. Season 2, bitches.
What?
We're doing a damn thing. You know, it's been going good. People have been liking it. We need more people, though. I want you guys to go out, follow us on Twitter at Might Be News 24/7, Might Be News 247. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the iTunes channel or the SoundCloud. You'll get alerts when we drop new episodes. Everybody else, we just drop it every Monday. So, not sure when the season's going to end yet, but we're doing good right now.
Might not end.
Might not end. Season 2 might be forever. It might be infinite. Every week we do a thing called What's the Point, where we come out with, each one of us comes out with something that we want to talk about that we find interesting or annoying or dumb. Here we go. What's the point?
Is there a point to this?
What is your point?
Are you just gonna sit there and look stupid?
All right, what's the point? I guess I'll go first this week. Usually I don't have a problem with this, but for some reason this year I do. Pumpkin spice everything. Pumpkin spice everything. It's in the beer. It's in the coffee. There's soap now. There's candles. It's in the coffee. Did I say coffee already? Because it's in the coffee. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
I think it's actually cappuccino.
Listen, I don't like pumpkin anything. Ever.
Nah, pumpkin spice creamer.
Nothing.
Creamer.
Nothing.
I actually just had at a beer at a party last night. Lion Kugel has a pumpkin ale. It was all right.
Nothing.
It wasn't bad.
I want nothing to do with it.
Yo, I saw pumpkin spice sauce, like for spaghetti.
Wow.
What?
That's what I'm talking about. It's become this unbelievable trend where everybody's got to do it. I'm surprised there's not fucking chips, pumpkin spice Pringles or some shit,
There is.
There is? Are you kidding me?
Dude, there's pumpkin spice everything.
Oh my God. I don't want anything to do with it. It's like I like carving pumpkins. It's not like I'm like totally anti-Halloween. I kind of am, but it's not like I like this time of year. But it's not because of Halloween. And pumpkins to me are just fucking gross. The smell, everything about it. Certainly the goddamn taste, it's fucking gross.
Pumpkin spice is trying to do what bacon did, and pumpkin spice can't live up to bacon.
Bacon is a year-round thing, though. Bacon is a trend always,
Forever.
every day of the year. Pumpkin is only for like a month. Well, 2 months. I guess it goes through Thanksgiving.
Yeah, pumpkin pie.
It's not just right. So like,
Well, you can't put pumpkin pie in there.
It's pumpkin.
But pumpkin pie is the shit.
I don't dig it. I don't dig it at all.
You don't like pumpkin pie?
Not
Listen,
one bit.
I don't like the pumpkin spice creamer. I don't like the pumpkin spice spaghetti sauce, the pumpkin spice condoms, nothing like that.
Pumpkin spice condoms.
They're out there.
They're out there.
They're out there.
Unbelievable.
But yo, pumpkin pie, just straight pumpkin pie is the shit.
I am not a fan.
Yo, this is a fat kid talking right now. Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Love pumpkin pie.
See, I can't dig it. I just don't dig it. It's orange. I don't know if it's just. I'm a texture guy. I'm a color like I don't like mushy, gross fucking food. And that
How about
to me,
pudding?
Pudding is delicious, Kev.
How about pumpkin pudding?
Pumpkin pudding is a catastrophe. I don't want anything to do with pumpkin pudding because it would just look like pumpkin mush to me.
Yeah.
That's what pumpkin pie is to me. It's just mush.
Come on,
Right?
man.
It's pumpkin pie mush on a crust.
So what kind of pie do you like?
Give me some chocolate mousse. I like cheesecake, even though it's not
Cheesecake
classified as
isn't
a
a
pie.
It's a cake.
Well, is tiramisu a pie
No.
that you can make that a pie,
that's a
right?
cake.
That's a
Yeah,
cake
it's a
too.
cake.
I'm a cake guy, I guess. You know, I like cakes. If you just bring pies to a party, chances are I'm gonna skip dessert
How about
unless you bring some chocolate mousse in that bitch.
how about like carrot cake?
Carrot cake is still a cake, Kev, and I dig it on special occasion.
Yeah, Bakers of Buffington makes the best carrot cake.
It's got chunks in it.
Oh yeah,
Count me out. Count me out.
dude, it's fucking carrot cake.
I want like finite sprinkles of that shit in there.
No,
That's
it's
it.
like not like chunks.
It's not crunchy.
No,
Good. Then I probably
no,
might
it's
try
like the shavings of carrots.
because the frosting they put on that shit is delicious.
There's like whole baby carrots.
Baby
in that
carrots.
carrot.
you have to eat your cake with a knife, with a steak knife.
It'd be the dumbest texture ever. This delicious cake surrounded by crunchy, gross carrots. Anyway, pumpkin, everything can just go to hell right now. And maybe I only feel this way because it's still like 80 degrees in our area, and it shouldn't be right now.
It's bullshit.
I'm like really trying to wear hoodies now. It's hoodie season. It's like this biological clock thing that happens for me where it's time for sweatpants and hoodies. It's what I want. And I can't do that because the weather isn't, allowing me to do that. So I'm extra stingy with pumpkin anything right now.
The stupid leaves are falling off the trees, and it's still 80 degrees out.
Yo,
Yeah.
I went on a hayride last night and I was sweating.
Yeah.
Standing in line.
That's retarded.
Yesterday was hot.
It was 84 degrees.
Yeah.
Dumb.
We're supposed to get a lot of rain this week, though, so maybe that'll make me feel, at least my
Depressed.
seasonal depression. At least my seasonal depression will start on time,
The carved pumpkins will rot quicker.
Quicker.
Nah, spray 'em with lemon
Jackie
juice.
wants to do them.
Lime juice.
Jackie wants to do pumpkins immediately, if not sooner. And I'm just like, babe, it's still like 80 degrees outside. Like, we can't have pumpkins outside right now. And we sure as hell aren't going to have them inside because they stink. They stink.
Yeah. Where'd you guys get your pumpkins from?
Produce Junction. They don't pay us. But we got white pumpkins because we had kids over here painting pumpkins yesterday. Your nieces and nephews, my nieces, were over here painting pumpkins.
They painted them white.
No, we got white pumpkins.
Oh, you get them white. So
But
you
we
can
told everybody that we put a coat of primer on there. And because the paint shows up better.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Genius move on my part.
That was Jackie's idea. Let's be serious.
It was Jackie.
I think those pumpkins look retarded.
Is that all you have to say about the pumpkins? I thought you were going to continue.
They're white.
Wait a minute.
It's not a pumpkin.
Was that the whole line? I think those pumpkins are going to look retarded.
No, I think they do look retarded.
Yo, all pumpkins matter, Kev.
All pumpkins
They're
matter.
just white freaking. They're not even painted yet, Kev.
They're not painted. They're just chilling.
I'm saying pumpkins are freaking orange. When was the last time you went and got your pumpkin spice cappuccino and there was a white pumpkin on the label?
I don't think that's ever happened to me, Kev. Maybe these aren't the ones they use for the pumpkin spice. Maybe these are different pumpkins. But they have feelings too, Kev. You can't just sit here and talk shit on these pumpkins like they don't matter. They do matter.
Can I tell you something?
What?
All these pumpkin spice things, there's actually no pumpkin in it. It's just a flavoring. It's just the cinnamon flavoring, the nutmeg. No pumpkin.
It's dumb.
So get out of here with that bullshit.
Kev, what's your point this week?
Oh, man, you hit me quick. So Dan posted a video on Facebook yesterday, and it took me back, and I wanted to talk about it on the show today.
What's the video?
Of the gates of hell local to us.
Explain.
It's a house on Sawmill Road, Old Sawmill Road. It's a dirt road. with this driveway, this very long driveway that leads up to this abandoned house, pool, and garage. And as a kid, I've taken several trips up there to go up there and scare ourselves shitless and have fun while we're doing it. But the story behind it I did a little bit of research before we came over today, but the story behind it is some father had something, he bugged out. He freaked out.
Yeah.
He killed his family, his wife and his 2 kids, shot him with a shotgun, drug their bodies down to the fence that is right in front of the driveway, and hung their bodies on the fence and turned the gun on himself.
It's like a wrought iron fence with like the spikes up the top.
Right.
And he literally used those spikes to spear the bodies and keep them up on the fence.
And impale the bodies. But
Wow.
yeah, like spooky stuff. It being Halloween soon, I wanted to talk about something a little
Seasonal, Kev.
So now I've been up to Hell's Gates before. We drove, me and a bunch of friends.
You drove up the driveway?
We drove up.
Okay. So your car didn't stall?
No, but what happened was we started to it almost felt like somebody was throwing stuff at our car. Like acorns. They started
Really?
hitting the side of our car, and when we looked out, it was almost like we could see white faces looking at us in the woods, hiding behind trees.
Get the hell out of here.
We-
It was at night?
Yeah, it was at night.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Dude, fuck that. We left so quick. That was scary as shit. It literally looked like there was people walking through the woods and just peeking out from behind the trees looking at us with white masks on.
Did you make it up to the house?
No. As soon as we saw the people in the woods, or thought we did, we left.
Wow. So I have a story to get a little bit deeper into it. So a buddy of mine, two of my buddies, one of them sat up there one day with a hacksaw. This is 15 plus years ago. Sat up there with a hacksaw and cut the lock off the window, put his own lock on, and we went in the house. In the house.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
Dude, I had video footage of us walking around. I took a camcorder in with me back in the days of camcorders, and videotaped the house. And this, it was wild. But the freaking chick's VCR wound up eating the tape. But whatever, different. I was pissed. So you walk into the house, and everything is like 50s vibe. Like clothes are still hanging up in the closet. You walk into the bathroom, there was a towel on the hook. On top of the towel was a shower cap type deal. So it's a 2-story house, and you walk up the steps to the 2nd story. You walk into the closet, the hallway closet that is directly in front of you or off to the left. And it's a big closet. It's almost as big as a room. And it's wood paneling on the inside of this closet. You walk back to the back wall of this closet, and the wall opens up. And there is a room inside behind this wall of this closet.
How did you find that?
Dude. So the people that I went with, they said that they were just chilling in the room, doing other stuff, just chilling in there, wound up leaning against the wall and fell into this secret room.
Why would you just be chilling in there?
They were...
I know what they were doing, but still.
So they were sitting in the closet. He leaned up on the wall. I'll have to find it, but there was all kinds of crazy shit in that room. Like chemical warfare books were in that room. I took one of those. I have no idea where it's at this point. But at the bottom of the door, it was this whole pulleys and weight system that after you pushed the door open and you walked in, the wall slammed shut behind you. And across the bottom, if there was still electric, there was a nail gun that would go through and nail the bottom of the door shut if you told it to. Like, it was absolutely wild.
That's crazy.
Oh, it scared the piss out of me, though.
I fucking bet.
Dude, downstairs, you walk into this closet downstairs, and there's nothing in this closet, which makes me think that there was a basement. But you walk in, and you walk there, foot deep into this closet, and there's a cinder block wall right in front of you that something was barricaded off. Dude, that house is so spooky. Secret passages in a house. Secret passages in a house. How awesome is that, though?
But so is the house still there?
No, they knocked it down.
They knocked it down.
But after this guy killed his family, they just blocked it off and said it was just a big crime scene and just left it there. Everything was still left in place. They boarded the windows, boarded the doors, locked everything, and just left it.
Wow.
Clothes were still hanging in, like shoes in the bottom of the closet. Dude, everything
was where they left it.
Right. Beds still had sheets on them, but they were like
disheveled.
Yeah. Wow. It was wild.
It is scary.
That's scary shit.
Yeah.
Ooh. And I went in.
Seasonal. That's crazy.
It was fun.
Yeah, I didn't have the balls to go up that. I mean, it was nighttime. It was like 11, 12
I wouldn't have done
o'clock.
that. Fuck that.
You were in there during the day?
Yeah. Yeah, it was daytime.
Wow. That's no. You can count me out. Count me out on that.
So wait, people that drive up, their cars have stalled?
That's what the stories have said, that people that drive up the driveway, that their cars stall until they get to the opposite side, the road side of the fence, and then they can start their cars again.
We only made it part way up, and then we
How
turned around.
part way up?
I
mean, because when you're walking, it's a good walk up to that
yeah,
driveway.
I'd say about 100 yards maybe
Really?
after the gate.
And
Yeah.
you saw people.
I swear we saw people.
Was
I
there
swear
anything
to God.
influencing your vision or
Nope. Nope.
Your psychedelic state.
'Cause this was right after we left the Twin Tunnels in Downingtown. So we went on like a kind of like a ghost tour, perhaps you say, of the area, because
Chester County.
you have the Hell's Gates, you have the Twin Tunnels. So we took video of the Twin Tunnels when we went through there.
Okay.
And that was scary. That was freaky stuff.
Dude, the Twin Tunnels are bugged out too.
Yeah.
Because there is actually a murder that happened and they found a body in a suitcase at the Twin Tunnels. Not the one that the road drives through,
it's
but
the crick on the left.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they found a suitcase with chopped up body parts in there.
You didn't
but-
know this?
So
No, I knew this.
Okay.
you know the story about the Twin Tunnels?
I don't think I know the stories.
So it was a lady had a kid, and she killed herself by hanging herself. But when she hung herself, she was holding her baby, and as she jumped off of the Twin Tunnels, it's two tunnels, but there's a gap in the middle. So she jumped off of the gap, and when she fell, broke her neck from hanging herself, she dropped her baby to the ground. And we drove into the Twin Tunnels the one night, and it was supposed to happen like midnight is when the spooky shit's supposed to happen. So we drove into the middle of the Twin Tunnels, we turned the lights off, turned the car off, and the outside of the window started fogging up. And then a handprint appeared on the outside of the
Fuck
window.
out of here.
A baby handprint on the outside of the window. Like,
Ugh.
you couldn't wipe it off. It was on the outside. And then another one appeared. And then we left.
You were stoned.
No. Nope. Nope.
Wow. I don't know, man. The supernatural stuff really that freaks me out. I don't watch those kind of movies either. You know, I stay away from it.
So you wouldn't go up to the house or go
No.
into the Twin Tunnels?
No. I mean, I've been through the Twin Tunnels, just driving through, and I have stopped in the middle of it before.
How's
Not
your
for very
anxiety?
It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun for me. I didn't enjoy the experience. I guess I'm glad I did it, but
I drive through the twin, and that's the thing, because we used to go through the Twin Tunnels like on a Friday night because it's scary and it's something to do, kill time, whatever. You're hanging out with your friends. I drive through the Twin Tunnels every single day now to drop my kid off at daycare, and it's nothing for me.
Yeah. Well, Danny, what's your point this week?
All right, so I said we're going to get into it in the second half, and we're about to do just that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that's been going on the past week with the shooting in Las Vegas, you know, there's been a lot of talk about gun control. Of course, it's the first thing that people bring up when something like this happens. So I wanted to talk about gun control. And I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on it. I have a whole bunch of notes I wrote down. So once we're done talking, I'm going to read off some statistics about my feel on gun control. Which one of you wants to go first with your thoughts?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm not anti-gun by any means. I think that...
In fact, you want one for the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I want one for the zombie apocalypse. I want one for the eventual possible Third World War, whatever. All that shit. I think that there's guns that are great for home, defense. I think there's guns that are specifically made for hunting animals. I think that there's guns that are strictly made to kill people by and large. Mostly military-grade weapons, things like that. Which, hey, that's great. Military needs that kind of stuff. People in America, normal citizens, in my opinion, do not need assault rifles. They don't need these bump stocks. They don't need to have the means to kill people like this. I just don't see that. So I'm not anti-gun. I suppose I'm more... I don't even know the process of buying a gun because I've obviously never bought a gun. But I'm all about as much screening as possible. No one should be able to go to the gun store and walk out with a gun that is...
Nah, there's background checks that have to be done.
Okay.
Are they extensive enough? No, I don't think so.
Well, and I guess different states are obviously different from other states because, I mean, I'm sure that there's a federal level to it, but there's different laws in different states. There's different regulations in different states. I kind of feel like everybody needs to get on the same page because you're allowed to go from state to state. You're not allowed to bring guns, but that doesn't stop people. And we already kind of went over it in the beginning saying that there's some really sick people out there and the good people outnumber them, but that doesn't get away from the fact that there's some sick people out there. And there's people that not only probably shouldn't have guns, but they shouldn't have stockpiles of guns and ammo. That's just my opinion. If you're not out there in the wilderness hunting for your food or trying to protect your house from a neighborhood threat, a government threat, because these people out here with the freedom to, they want to own guns to protect themselves from the government if it ever happens. Which you see there's what is it, Egypt that's happening. There's some other places right now that they confiscated their guns and now they can't fight back.
Well, that's some of the stats that I have that I'm going to talk about.
So I'm not anti-gun. I am pro-gun control to a certain point.
I'm with you on that, but not to. You have the right to own an assault rifle. You have the right. We are America. We founded this country with guns. And I believe it's our right.
We didn't found this country with assault weapons, though, Kev. Like
fucking muskets
that took sometimes a surplus of a minute to reload a single bullet. What happened in Vegas wouldn't have been possible with a musket.
True.
You're talking about over 500 people that were anywhere from minor to serious injuries.
Right.
Almost 60 people died. And I'm sick of seeing on the news the new biggest mass shooting in American history. Everyone gets bigger, it feels like. And I don't know, man.
We got to find a way. It's not that we have to take people's guns, because think about how many assault rifles there are in the United States that are owned by Americans. Think about it. And the government is not going to take away the guns that people already have.
I don't
They're
see
not going
how
to.
that could ever happen.
We're talking about assault rifles, so I'm going to throw the stat out there real quick. Last year, there was 5 times more deaths by knives than assault rifles.
There you go.
5 times more deaths by knives than assault rifles.
Should we outlaw steak knives?
It's not a gun problem. It's a people problem.
Yeah, it absolutely is a people
Absolutely
problem.
is a people problem. Okay, all right. I was talking to a friend of mine this week, and all right, they make cars. My car, for example, can max out, it says, according to my thing, 140 miles per hour, right?
Right.
Where is the road that I can take my car 140 miles per hour legally?
401.
Where is it that I can do that? And not get pulled over and probably arrested. Where can I do that?
You can't do it around here.
Where, how many people would I probably kill if I was taking my car 100 plus miles per hour in our area? Like, I would more than likely absolutely get into an accident, correct?
Okay.
Why is it that car companies are allowed to make cars that go that fast?
Because there are roads that you are allowed to travel that fast.
Where?
In Europe?
Not here.
Doesn't matter. Those
It does
cars
matter.
are still sold in Europe.
My point is, okay, is that you make guns that can protect your house. Short range. You make rifles that you hunt deer with or whatever you want to hunt with. Single shot usually. Why is there the ability to make a gun into a meat grinder? Why is there a gun out there that this guy can hang out of a window and shoot 100 plus rounds almost instantaneously into a crowd of people?
And
Because
automatic rifles are illegal.
Illegal, correct.
Illegal. You know what else is illegal? Meth. Heroin.
Right. Yes,
Listen, if you want to do something, you're going to find a way to do it.
for sure.
And that's, we keep talking about this conspiracy theory episode. Well, we're going to get into it on this too, because I don't believe this is everything that the media is telling us. I believe they're telling us what they want us to hear. But continue. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about this because it is your right, Kev. Like you said, it's your right to have this. It's like anything else that I just don't know. I don't understand why people are allowed to have a stockpile of weapons that like that. This guy had dozens of guns. He got him into the place. He had him at his home. Like, why?
Dude, I'm very down the middle about the whole situation because I feel very bad for what happened. And we say that we need to make the background checks more extensive and more harder, just to look more into the people's history. But at any given time, a switch could flip just like that in somebody's head, and they're crazy. I mean, just because when they purchased the gun, they were sane and didn't have anything against them in their background doesn't mean that 10 years down the road from when them having or from them buying it that they're not going to go crazy.
Yeah, you're right.
And if it does stand up that this guy is the sole person that did this, it almost looks like that's what happened, because talking to his brother, his brother was completely dumbfounded that he had no past issues of violence or hate. He was a normal guy that liked to gamble,
right,
and had a lot of money. Well, I brought up this topic because there are people out there who are screaming, we should not have guns at all, like completely take our guns away. So I started doing some research, and I found out some interesting stats. I'm going to read off real quick. 1929, the Soviet Union established gun control. From 1929 to 1953, 20 million descendants unable to defend themselves were rounded up and killed. 1911, Turkey established gun control. From 1915 to 1917, 1.5 Armenians unable to defend themselves rounded up and killed. Let's go to Germany. gun control was established in 1938. From 1939 to 1945, 13 million Jews unable to defend themselves were killed. Listen, I have a whole bunch of stats, but it all totaled out to be 56 million defenseless people were rounded up and killed in the 20th century because of gun control. During World War II, the Japanese decided not to invade America. You know why? Most Americans were armed.
Wow.
Some other stats I have. Switzerland, they have issued a gun to every household. The Switzerland government trains every adult they issue a rifle to. They train them how to use that. Switzerland has the lowest gun-related crime rate of all civilized countries in the world.
But so let's just say that this dude wasn't shooting down from above people. It was, and let's just, it's not in a concert setting, because usually you get scanned and everything when you're going to a concert. Make sure you don't have any weapons on you. But let's just say he's at the mall and he walks into the mall with a couple of assault rifles, saying this guy actually did do it. I don't know if he did or he didn't, but let's just say a heavily armed man walks into a mall and starts just spraying. If we aren't allowed to have guns, that is keeping the people, our public, from not being able to do anything. Like, Dan, I know you are for carry and conceal.
Everywhere I go.
You're in a mall, somebody starts shooting, you have the ability to fire back at him and take him out.
I will take every precaution necessary to protect my family and anybody around me.
That's what I'm saying. That
Even if it costs somebody, an innocent bystander, their life?
I would never do anything that would.
Oh, no, I'm
purpose.
not saying that you would. I'm not saying I mean, what you're basically saying is, and I agree, and then, like you said, I'm pretty much down the middle with this too. You need to be able to protect yourself and the people that you care about. You bring up a mall shooting.
okay.
Say you're there and you see this guy. He comes in and he starts spraying. You're talking about having a gunfight with this guy in a public place.
No, not having a gunfight.
Like a John Woo movie?
No.
Bullets flying everywhere?
No.
What if it will, are you confident enough that you could say that you could hit this guy first thing? That you're not going to shoot right past him and shoot somebody's grandma behind him?
If he's 25 yards from me, absolutely.
But somebody else might not be.
But see, well, no, hold on. So
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
I know you are, but listen, I'm a gun owner. I carry guns all day, every day. I've taken gun safety courses.
Right.
I'm a hunter. I know how to shoot a gun very well. I would never fire a shot if I wasn't sure of my target and if I wasn't sure that it wasn't going to hit my target. So if I see people, if this guy comes in and he's spraying back and forth and there's people literally running in front of him, I'm not going to take that shot. I'm going to take a shot when I know it's going to hit the target.
And 9 times out of 10, he comes into the mall, he's spraying. Nobody's running around. Everybody's down on the ground.
Yeah, sure, but that's not always the case. And I'm just saying, like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, and we're gonna, it's a tough debate. It's a tough thing to talk about because people feel so strongly about it on both sides. And I mean, whether or not I'm pro-gun, whatever, I don't like the NRA and the government and how much money they give presidential candidates and other people in the government. I don't like that. I think that people should be able to own guns. I think that people should be able to protect themselves from, like I said, regular threats and government threats. Because, not to get crazy, but I kind of think that there's a tyrant in office right now. That's how I feel. So, like, one day he's having a bad day, martial law, I don't know how it all works out, but you need to be able to protect yourself no matter what.
Here's another stat I'm going to throw out real quick. 57 people killed, 270 people injured, 73 people injured. It's not Las Vegas. That was the month of September in Chicago. You know what Chicago has? The strictest gun laws.
Right, but it's surrounded by states who have some of the weakest. And I'm not trying to debate that like with you, but like it's surrounded by states who basically have no gun laws.
But it's people that can't defend themselves.
You're right. You're right.
It is
There-
they can't defend themselves.
Problem is that technology just went past the amendment. You know what I mean? It technology. Like I said, when they wrote that, we were fighting with muskets, and even if you just have a handgun, you can still rapid fire that thing. Not to the assault rifle thing, but like I'm just saying, man. I think that they
Actually, it is to the assault rifle thing. Same thing. My semi-automatic 9mm shoots the same rate as a semi-automatic AR.
If you can pull your finger back that quick, you can shoot.
That's
that
how
quick.
fast it goes.
Yes.
Yep.
And a bump stock makes it faster, correct? Or no?
I'm not 100% sure what a bump stock
It
is.
like basically it is like a spring on the shoulder rest, right? And so like as you're shooting, it basically bounces the gun off your shoulder and makes it so your finger does move that fast.
I've never seen one of those, so
That's what I'm not an expert by any means, but well,
Just remember, with guns, we are citizens. Without them, we're subjects.
Yeah, I agree with that
100% agree with that. I do. I 100% agree with that. I feel like every household doesn't need a gun, but I feel like everybody should learn about guns, respect guns, and at least learn how to be comfortable firing them. My biggest issue with these mass shootings, especially when they're white people, is the whole lone wolf terminology. I get fucking physically ill when I see it. Because you know why? I think about all these fucking depressed, just mad at everybody, white kids that are just, I want to be a fucking lone wolf. I am a lone wolf. I'm a badass, if only to myself, and I'll show everybody. And that's, it just, I feel like to some people, it's like something that they want to be, right?
Okay.
It's not a cool name.
No.
It's not a cool name.
No, I understand what you're saying now.
It makes it sound cool though to somebody.
Well, it's just like
It's like a trigger word.
there was a Netflix movie or show that was out called 13 Reasons. Have you guys seen this?
I have not seen it.
Yes.
I highly suggest it.
It's very depressing.
It is. It's about a girl that kills herself,
I heard about it.
and she leaves the tapes.
Yeah.
But I said it to Allison right away as soon as we started watching it. It glorified suicide.
Absolutely.
And you had people starting to try to do this because it glorified it.
But also, on the other hand, it introduced it to households and made it something to be talked about
Absolutely.
from parents to kids.
Absolutely. And I think guns need to be something that's talked about.
Yes.
If there's a gun in your house, I think that if you have kids that are old enough, they should know how to shoot it, how to handle it, and what to do if they see it.
Here's the next question. What's an appropriate age?
So my boys are 5 and 7 right now. My oldest has started to express interest in it because he was with me when we were building my AR. So he has expressed interest. So within the next year, I will start him out on little like BB rifles, and then move him up to 22 rifles
long
and
rifle.
that kind of stuff. I mean, I was in Boy Scouts and I was 13 years old taking the shotgun merit badge. The youngest kid ever to get the shotgun merit badge at Horseshoe Trails. So, I mean, they know how to use it. I think they should know their way around a gun.
Took a lot of energy.
I mean, this is something that needs to be talked about because it is currently happening right now. Right now as we speak, this is going on.
Yeah.
And there are people out there that are pushing very hard to take our right to defend ourselves away from us. And I'm going to stand up and say, not on my watch.
I didn't hear anything about anybody wanting to take our guns away. I think they just want to make it safer any way they possibly can. I mean, you look at these situations and how can you not want to make it better? How can you not want to try to help the situation?
It's a people problem.
It's a people problem.
I said this to you guys earlier. 3,000 people were killed September 11th, 2001, and not one shot was fired. We have a hate problem.
And also, everybody's screaming gun control, gun control, gun control. That's all you hear on the media right now, right?
It's the first thing Hillary Clinton said after the shooting. Gun control.
How many gangs are there across the United States? How many do you think?
I don't know.
I have no idea either.
Hundreds.
Probably more.
Yeah, probably way more.
Yeah.
How many of those gangs obtain their guns legally?
Probably a small percentage.
Probably. I would be willing to agree with you on that. So the gun control thing, like Dan said, if they have it, if a crazy person has it in their mind to do it, they're going to get it done regardless.
They're breaking the law. They're going to break the law to get the gun.
Right. I don't think gun control is the answer. I think people control. I just popped. But I think people control is the answer.
People control.
Yeah.
Explain people control. What's people control? You're just gonna go.
He
looks kind of crazy. We should nab him up.
Good luck with this one,
he
Kev.
does anything.
You're on with this one.
People control.
Not necessarily in those words. I mean, that's
You
a little
can
strong.
control the way people buy guns nationwide. You can control the background systems nationwide. You can toughen the way to get it. I understand what you're saying. Maybe 10 years down the road, your wife leaves you and you want to shoot everybody. I get it. So, but there's got to be something instead of nothing. There's got to be something we can do instead of nothing.
Well, that's what I said. As you just heard, I'm very for guns, but I don't think the background check is extensive enough.
Like, not even a background check. Like, background check is great. There's some people out there that seriously just should not have them. How do I know that? How can I'm not the judge of that. But there has to be something. There has to be something that can be done. Like, you have to go somewhere to take a class before you can buy it. Legally. You have to go take a class. You have to go learn how to do it. We keep bringing up cars. We keep bringing up these things. What do you have to have in order to drive a car?
Driver's license.
How did you get that?
Test.
You studied. You took a test. You learned about it.
How did I get my carry and conceal license?
Exactly the same way, but I'm just saying that.
No. It's not exactly the same way.
How is it?
I didn't have a felony on my record and paid $20.
That's it then.
That's it.
No test, no
No.
safety course.
Got my picture taken.
No,
That was
nothing.
it.
That's it.
That's it.
That needs to change.
But that's a very extensive process. You don't just go in and get it right away. That takes a good 2 months.
weeks.
I understand.
Nah, I thought it was like 2-3 weeks.
It's supposed to take 2 months.
That's probably
But you
somebody
get it
just
within
sitting
2 or
on
3
it and not
weeks.
doing their job correctly. What I'm talking about is that take a class, learn about it, prove to the government that you know how to use it responsibly.
There are classes out there.
I know there are,
And they do
but
offer
they
them.
should be mandatory, not optional. Mandatory.
I agree. I mean, I can understand that.
That's gun control. I'm not talking
yeah.
about going and taking guns. I'm talking about providing and assuring everyone around them that, hey, he's got a gun. He's got to know how to use it.
You know, you make a good point because have you ever been out hunting?
Yeah.
You know, you got to take a hunter safety course, right?
Right.
To learn how to shoot a gun.
To learn how to shoot a gun. In order to what? Get your permit, correct?
In order to get your permit.
Right. So it should be the same thing to own a gun.
I can see that.
Nothing crazy, nothing abrasive. Nobody's taking your guns away. Just show and prove that you know how to use it. Show and prove that your mental capacity can handle that.
I believe psychic
How do you
evaluations
test for that, though?
too.
How do you test that?
It's psychic evaluations I get, but how do you take a test to show that you know how to use the gun? Obviously, the dude that was shooting at 500 plus people knew how to use the gun.
Well, no, it's just like the hunter safety system that we were talking about. You go to the course, you sit down, you read over the book, the proper way how to hold a gun, to load a gun, to handle a gun, to proper shooting. Eyes on the target, always treat a gun like it's loaded. You know, just the basics of using a gun.
Well, we're up against it here. I'm glad we talked about this. Save. I know you have some kind of conspiracy theory things going on. We are trying to get in touch with these guys.
Devin, if you are listening to the show,
Hit somebody
reach
up.
out to us.
We had Alex Lyons on last season. We're gonna try and get him on again. He was fun. But now, to get out of this, let's do the late review. I know it's a little late, but
You're just hearing about this?
Can't believe I'm just hearing.
Why didn't I know about this sooner?
all right. Late review this week. We're doing Common. One Day It'll All Make Sense. Before I do that, real quick, I forgot to do new music. I'm just gonna skim through real fast. New music from Lil Pump, Marilyn Manson just dropped a new album. Liam Gallagher from Oasis just dropped a new album. I listened to that. It's really good. Let's see. That's really all the ones I know. So check out some new music this week. I love New Music Fridays. I kind of get to listen to a whole bunch of new shit. So take a listen to that Liam Gallagher stuff. It's good. Oh, and last week I went back and I listened to that a Boogie with a Hoodie. With the Hoodie. Catchy. It's good. Some of it's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Common, One Day It'll All Make Sense. I picked this album because it just hit its 20-year mark anniversary. So there's better Common albums out there, in my opinion, but I really like this album. It came out in 1997. That's like one of my favorite eras in hip-hop. Invocation's great. Real Quotes was awesome. Retrospect for Life is one of the greatest songs ever recorded, in my opinion. Let's see. The Stolen Moments trilogy songs that he did on here were really cool. It's all about him getting robbed, I guess. Yeah, I really enjoyed this album. Numerically, I'd got to give it a 8. I know that there's better Common albums out there, probably post-2000, but I really enjoy Common. I think he's great. What do you guys think?
Common. One Day It'll All Make Sense. Well, that day wasn't today. Listen, I know the guy's talented. I know he has a lot of skill. I mean, he didn't get to where he is now because he wasn't good. He's good.
It's good.
It's good.
I didn't like it. It just, I played it cover to cover, and I'm gonna give him a 3 just because I know he's got.
Just wasn't your cup of tea.
No, nothing was catchy to me.
Yeah.
I have heard some of his stuff that I have liked before, but it was not on this album.
Kev?
One Day It'll All Make Sense. I like Common. I like his music. I like him as an actor. I listened to the album. I did nothing on this album did anything for me.
Didn't like stick out to you.
Didn't stick out to me. And we had a conversation before the show, like
threshold in time
type deal. It might be because of that. I can't 100% say. I never really thought about it before you brought it up.
To explain threshold in time, I have a pretty specific threshold in time year-wise for different genres of music to where anything past that threshold in time gets corny to me.
Yeah.
Because of production, because of sound quality, because of whatever reason. And 1997 hip-hop is extremely different from 2000s hip-hop.
Yeah.
2000, now hip-hop. So, and that goes for any music. So that could be an issue for you guys with this, is because this is 20 years old. And not everything that's 20 years old, makes sense to you audibly.
Right. So for a rating of this album, I'm gonna go 3.5, 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I give it an 8.
Dude, Finding Forever, Common,
Yeah, great album,
instant classic in my opinion.
Wow.
Right.
Really?
Yes. Love that album.
It's a great album.
The People's
a great song.
What is that song that he does with Kanye?
Southside.
Amazing song.
It's great. I like I said, I picked this Common album just because I saw on Twitter that this album just had its birthday, So I hadn't really listened to this album cover to cover prior to this review. I had heard a couple songs from it before, but never from cover to cover. And you're right. It's kind of a dry album production-wise. If you aren't a huge fan of 90s hip-hop, there's really nothing on this album for you. It's very kind of jazzy beats, laid back, nothing too hype. There's no club bangers on this album whatsoever. But mostly at this era, this stage in hip-hop, it's all about the lyrics, and it's all about the beats. There's even some DJ shit going on in this album that you don't really hear anymore. So, Threshold in Time, this does not exceed that for me, but maybe it exceeds that for you guys.
I'll agree with that.
So, we're up against it, Kev. Is there anything cool this week in history?
Yeah, actually there is. Can I do a quick spoiler alert before we do This Week in History?
Yeah, what's your spoiler?
So I want to take my turn in the late review.
Okay.
And
Each week we pick something, somebody different.
Both of you guys have Netflix?
Yes.
I want to review one or two movies, and I am going to let you guys decide.
Ooh.
Inside Man or Blood Diamond.
Inside Man's with Denzel Washington.
Right.
Love that movie.
Blood Diamonds with
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay, well, we'll decide off air, and then we'll surprise our listeners with which one we pick next week.
You're not pleased with me right now.
Well, I just, they're both mediocre.
Get out of here.
Jesus.
I've never seen Blood Diamond.
You never seen it? It's
No.
good. They're both good movies.
It's good. It's good.
I think Inside Man is by far the weakest Spike Lee joint. It's a Spike Lee joint.
Is it?
It is.
Wow.
Weakest Spike Lee joint.
Okay. October 12th, 1999, NBA Hall of Famer Wilt Chamberlain died at 63. October 14th, 1964, Martin Luther King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. 1968, the first live telecast from spacecraft was transmitted from Apollo 7. October 15th, 1951, I Love Lucy starring Lucille Ball had its television debut. October 15th, 1989, Wayne Gretzky tops Gordie Howe's NHL scoring record.
He was the man.
Wayne Gretzky is so dope.
Mm-hmm.
Instant legend.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody that's going to be able to beat his records. Nobody. October 16th, 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis began. 1995, hundreds of thousands of black men gathered in Washington for the Million Man March. And that's what I got.
Wow. It's a pretty busy week.
Yeah. Some solid stuff.
Throughout the centuries. Well,
Boom.
decades. I guess you aren't going back hundreds of years.
No.
So, I stand corrected. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know it got a little crazy there with the gun stuff, but, like we said, these conversations need to be had, I think, especially with your friends and people that you enjoy having conversations with. Too many times now, especially on social media, everybody's just quick to start calling people names and not have an actual conversation. They just start yelling at each other, which is dumb. So it's good to be able to have a real conversation with people that you enjoy having real conversations with. And we enjoy having real conversations with you, whoever's listening. Follow us on Twitter at Might Be News 24/7, Might Be News 247. Subscribe to iTunes, SoundCloud, listen, share, tell all your friends. Thank you for checking out Might Be News. I'm Taylor Cooper. Say peace out, Kev.
I love you guys.
Peace out, Danny.
Peace out.
All right, guys, have a good week. We'll see you next time.